You got to reach for the stars. Yeah. And if you're not reaching, you're not getting anywhere.
We're not done yet. Like we have a lot of room for improvement on our products by far. We have a lot of room for new ideas. We have a lot of new ideas in place. I mean, we're constantly innovating.
Every day, I think we have a choice every day. When you open your eyes, you can be great or you can't. I mean, I feel like it's a mindset deal. Mentally, if you want to do something and chase that dream, go get it.
Welcome back to the Wealthy Cowboy Show. Today we have Dean Lopez and Dax Stokes of DeAx Trailer Sales, and I'm excited to get to talk to them. There's some young guys. They're doing big things. If you haven't heard of DeAx, you need to go check them out, and they're a lot more than trailers. If you're farm, ranch, rodeo, anything involved in livestock, farming or ranching, anything like that, horse enthusiasts, anything, they probably have something there that you need. They got the cheapest prices of any of the brand names, and you're fixing to meet these guys. They're awesome to deal with. Everybody there is awesome to deal with. So how's it going, guys?
Going good.
Doing pretty good.
I want to start. I don't want to go all the way back to your birth, but kind of what were y'all doing before and around the time that y'all started this company? Like, I want to know your mindsets and kind of what y'all were going through then and where y'all were at.
So I'll just so when we kind of started all this, I just moved to Lubbock, and to be honest with you, I was just flat broke. I mean, I didn't have nothing going. I'd sold a rental company back in Snyder and blew through that pretty quick, and got with Dean, and we started. I didn't have a choice but to figure out a way to make money, and Dean kind of had some guys lined out to start delivering some hay and some stuff like that, and I just jumped right in with him, and we had known each other, from rodeoing and stuff, but I just started jumping in where I could, and we didn't have a choice but to start figuring out a way to make it happen.
Yeah.
So that's where it all started as far as all this.
And Dean, you were peddling some hay, hauling some hay and stuff.
Yeah, so I work for a company still called Nutrient Ag Solutions, and I'm a crop consultant for them. Got out of college and I started crop consulting for them and selling chemicals, cottonseed, in our area mainly, things like that. Got to meet a bunch of farmers and stuff, and started, they baled a little bit of hay, and I kind of consulted them through that from my background growing up farming in El Paso and stuff. Just, hay and making double crops. And then I was like, hey, I can help sell it to my buddies, that need hay around Lubbock for their steers or their horses and stuff like that. And then I was kind of doing that, and Dax kind of got me started going with the entrepreneur mindset. Like, dude, you're doing that. Like, you might as well try to start making a little bit of money. And I think he was just trying to make a little bit more room for himself. It's helping me out.
It's called survival.
No, but I kind of picked up on it, and
you were already doing it, but you didn't see the opportunity.
Yeah,
there.
Just trying to make a little bit here and there, just to pay for my own feed and stuff like that, which, I mean, that's pretty much what we still do, but on a way larger scale on the hay deal. And so that's kind of where it all started. And he'd already started his own business, and so I was shoeing horses kind of on the side like I've always been doing, and I haven't shot horses in about a year and a half now, and I miss it, but I don't.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it, but this is definitely taking up a lot more time doing what we're doing now. So there's no time for that. And my buddy's been shooting them for me now, and kind of funny.
Dax, so you kind of came with that entrepreneur spirit, I guess.
Yeah, when I got out of college, I went straight into the oil field. I graduated college on a Friday night, started oil field Monday morning, and the first company I worked for, that lasted about 2 weeks. That really wasn't for me. And I had a buddy call, and he offered me another deal, which was in the oil field. And so took that, and it became a good deal, laid me off in COVID. And from there, we started a rental company in Snyder, like skid steers, excavators, and stuff like that. And that didn't work out for everybody involved. So I got out on my end and went to equine dentistry school to be an equine dentist. And that's kind of about the time I was going up there, and I didn't have my clientele built up near enough, and just starving to death, man.
Yeah.
just starving, trying to build that. And I've always tried to have the mindset to nothing's good enough. Like keep going. Like you're always, I say this some, and I don't mean it in a bad way. I just always make myself broke. And I don't mean that bad. I mean, if you've got a pile of money invested in something and you're broke now, so you're hungry,
Yeah.
go again, and I feel like that has taken me further in life.
Yeah. I've heard Grant Cardone's a big one. Probably a lot of people know is like, that's what he says, like twice a year he goes broke, and he's dealing with, hundreds of millions of dollars and stuff, but he likes the same deal. When you don't have that money in your pocket, you're like, I've got to make this deal work, or I've got to go find something that will work. And it kind of drives you a little bit more than sitting back on your pockets and
yeah. I mean,
and
if you got
anything.
a pile of money there, you're not going to be apt to get up at 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. or whatever time. If you're sitting on a pile of money, you're like, we're good. But
yeah, some people can. I mean, and I think you got to eventually learn to deal with
absolutely.
it. But yeah, when you're the most creative times are the brokest times. I've got bills due and everybody's asking me for money and all this stuff, and it's like, okay, what can I do to provide some value to somebody to pay some of this stuff
You work
down?
good under pressure.
Yeah.
Well, you don't have a choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
just-
I like pressure. A lot of people don't like it. I don't know, like some people say entrepreneurs are born, they're not made. I don't know. I've always kind of thought that way. It's like, why go work for somebody else when I can make more money or have a bigger opportunity and more freedom doing it on my own? And I don't know. I've just always looked at it that way. Like, break things down with the numbers. Like, well, instead of working for that salary, I could go work less and make more or the same doing my
it's a
own
big
deal.
topic. We talk about that quite a bit. For me, a little bit of the background is like, I wasn't taught to, I wasn't taught with that mindset. I wasn't taught to work hard and all that, but I just seen like, hey, this ain't working, and I want to have more later on and try to give more and stuff,
Yeah.
So,
I think if you my biggest deal is like, look at somebody that's where you want to be and then just try to emulate them as much as possible. But y'all were so mainly in hay starting out. You had your job, and the first idea was just to build a hay van, right? Was that y'all's first product? And
Yeah. Oh, on the DeAx side of it, I mean, we needed a hay trailer to deliver our hay, because we were literally going to the customer and jumping on the trailer and 1, 2, 3, just trying to kick them off.
sometimes borrowing hay trailers.
Yeah, leasing hay trailers.
Yeah.
From actually our landlord at DeAx now. He had one, and we'd call him and lease it from him, and then have a blowout and have to replace all 4 of his tires eventually, and it's like, man, we got to figure something out. So then we just went and started looking around, and we're like, man, these things are, I mean, what was it, 26,000 at the time, like kind of right before COVID and stuff like that. And we're like, that ain't going to cut it. Like, there's no way if we can make no money buying this, we'll be indebted to this trailer for forever, especially at the rate of hay we were moving at the time too, across, which we thought was a lot. And finally, a buddy of mine from Mexico that I kind of got acquainted with just through farming and stuff like that, he said, hey, he sent me a picture, and he goes, hey, there's 3 hay trailers. They're stacked on top of each other with the cradles folded out and whatnot. And he goes, you guys want to buy one? And I was like, well, I talked to Dax, and it was a 40-foot, a 36-foot, and a 28-foot hay trailer, and they were stacked on top of each other. And I'm like, should we how much do they want for them? And he told us, and I told Dax, I said, well, shoot, let's try to buy all 3 of them and sell 2 of them and keep 1 for us just to run hay. And that's how it started.
Yeah.
We started with the DeAx hay trailer, and man, it's come a long way since that one. A lot of improvements. So.
And that's what we were talking about earlier. That's kind of has been my mindset. Like, if I'm going to use something, try to look at the opportunity of like buying it in bulk, and then I'll sell some and cheapen mine up that I'm going to keep or feed or whatever it is. And
especially if you see a market in your area for it. Like if you see that hole that's there in being in our life and the lifestyle we live already, we saw those holes, and then we just didn't find them until we found that first. You know what I'm saying? So like after that, it's just like, oh crap! Well, now we need hay forks.
Yeah.
Go price those out. You're like, oh my god. I'll get 4. I'll get one of each size and try them out and then sell them, or just little things like that. And so that's kind of been our motto.
How long? So y'all bought those first 3, and then how long did y'all rock along before y'all were like, hey, this could be another part of our business, our hay business here?
I feel like it wasn't extremely long.
No,
I mean, because those first trailers sold pretty quick.
Yeah. I mean, we
And then-
unloaded them,
And then the fire lit.
after we
wasn't
saw that, it was just like, use it until you sell it. Use it until you sell it. Use it until you sell it. And then, I mean, that took like 3 times. And then we ended up having just somewhat of a little bit of an inventory behind my house next to my roping arena. And golly, that was a lot of work.
We used to get continuous fence panels in by the truckload, which is 400, and we would unload by hand onto the tractor because the tractor was so small it couldn't.
It could only
You would
carry
have a
about
brand
7 or
new. You
8
would have
at
a
time.
brand new pair of gloves run by the end of the truck because that pipe has all that stuff from Mexico on it.
Yeah.
So you'd have a brand new pair of gloves,
Just
and they're
that
gone
old-
by the end of the day. Yeah, it's crazy.
And that truck couldn't get into the front entrance of my place that I lived at, Leveland. And what was it, like a 20-foot gate, but it was like a 4-foot tall fence, right? And so we'd unload them, and I'd have to, like, just so that, truck drivers are always in a hurry. I mean, you know how it is. Cattle guys, like, they want to get in and out. They don't get paid by the hour, So we'd just, as fast as we could, I'd get on the tractor and actually be sliding those panels off. We'd have to bust those straps, and I'd set them down on the ground, and then next. So then we had to get them, lift them up over the fence, and then take them back. After we got the truck out of our hair, we didn't feel like had to be in that big of a hurry.
We were halfway done at that point.
Keep in mind, I mean, we had 400 panels stacked on the side of a road for a little while, so it's definitely been a lot since then. But I mean, that's how we started off, just keeping a little bit at my house and just trading out of the house, back of the house, and then
And then how did the new products come along? Was it just that your relationship that you had with that guy and he kept sending you new ideas, or did y'all come up with these new ideas, and like from going from hay trailers to continuous fence panels to now y'all have, I mean, slowly I just see y'all, I kind of have seen y'all progress into new stuff, and now y'all have got just like everything.
line of it, we have. So I don't know.
I would say most of it was, I know at one point we had a list, like customers would ask, hey, do you happen to have this? Well, we wouldn't. So we'd put it on the list. And then we're like, okay, enough customers need this, we should probably carry it. Mm-hmm. So we had a list there for a while of stuff that people were needing. So eventually we would start carrying that, and then eventually start carrying that. And then like Dean said, we would get, we may only need 2, which we would have those 2 sold or whatever for easy math. And then we would just order 4. So now we have 2 in inventory.
Yeah.
And then I feel like that's how it all started.
Yeah, and you figure out your profit. Like, what can you make off of 3 of those? And then you look at the list of stuff that we could get built, and then you'd be like, well, I could buy it with the profit. I know I have those 3 sold. I can buy one of these for inventory and then bank on selling that inventory too.
Yeah, like the entrepreneur math, you could call it. Like they say, girl math. It's like if it's 20% on sale, then you save the 20%.
Yeah.
Don't look at what you spend or whatever. And you see that, you're like, if I've got 2 sold, like I already know these 2 guys are gonna buy them as soon as I get them here.
Yeah.
Surely I can find 2 more guys or 1 more guy that's gonna buy the other 2.
Yeah, you just got to roll the dice. Roll the dice, and I feel like that's all we've done. But going back to like, how did we get started with continuous fence? Like, that's kind of one of our goals. We wanted to do. One of our goals is, or what pushed us for the whole DeAx deal is we just roping. We've traveled around a lot, seen a lot of different markets, seen where we could fit in that market. I guess we didn't know it at the time, but we were looking around and like, man, that place looks good. I like the way that fence looks. Like, what is that? You go over there and look at it, and you're like, I've never seen this in Lubbock. I've never seen this in Snyder. Never saw it in El Paso. We're places that we've spent most of our lives, and you're just like, that's working smarter, not harder, or, you know, that would look good there, or how much does that cost? You start looking into it. You're like, man, like the continuous fence deal, like it looks great. It's effortless to put up. I mean, people driving by it are like, man, that looks like they did a lot of work. It's just continuous fence. It's easy. We saw it in Arizona when we were open. Everywhere has continuous fence, and we're like, we're going to drag that back. You know, we never saw it until then. So
Yeah.
and after that, it's just kind of one of those deals, a product that blew up with us and that we carry in stock, and people like that we have it in stock all the time, you know, and they may can find a little bit cheaper somewhere else, but they know that DeAx has it in stock.
Yeah.
You know? And so we take a lot of pride in that.
Yeah, and I think it's like just seeing that opportunity. I don't know, like I said, if you're born with that, or like if it's the environment or whatever, but just like, man, Andrew Tate talks about it. Like anytime you go in somewhere, you go into a coffee shop and order a coffee, like think, how did this person get my money? Anytime you go in somewhere and spend money, what did they do to get money from me? Was it their product? They just had a badass product. Was it marketing and sales? Was it the service? Why are these people, why is this working? And like, then you just start breaking down the business, and then, you know, maybe it's something you can pursue and get into on your own. And especially if you get into something like this that y'all already had experience in.
Retail.
I mean, that's really the biggest deal is like y'all already had experience in agriculture and already had a client base and knew what everybody wanted, knew what y'all wanted, knew what was good and bad. But I mean, then I'm sure at some point y'all had to learn marketing, sales, bookkeeping, the whole thing that comes with running a business. A mastermind has the sole purpose of getting you further, faster, and that's exactly what we're doing with the Wealthy Cowboy Show Mastermind. It is for the person that's ready to start out building their business, or someone just looking to get their business to the next level. We will have live Q&A calls that you can ask past and future guests questions that relate specifically to you. You'll also hear ideas and be able to network with people that could open you up to a completely different way of thinking that could change your life. Click the link below if you're looking to go to the next level in business and in life.
The sales end of it, I mean, I still work for Nutrient and stuff like that. I really have learned a lot from them. And I mean, Dax selling his teeth floating and stuff like that. And we're selling his rental equipment from his entrepreneur. It's just kind of been a mix, a blend of both of us, DeAx, I guess. And we put it together and just make it work, you know. And that's crazy. That just me growing up, like my dad, he worked a good job. My mom worked a good job, like 8 to 5 type deal, and like they were in field service and stuff like that. So they were always guaranteed. I never had an entrepreneur mindset. My Uncle David was a real big entrepreneur. He still worked for the government, shod horses, floated horses' teeth, built barns, fence, put on ropings, like the whole nine. I learned a little bit from him, but like it was kind of always, you know, brothers compete, you know. And so my dad and my uncle were always competing. My dad had to hear it from my dad, like, you want the good insurance and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And hear it from my uncle, who retired early and just started his own deal. He never just really dove off into it. And so I never got a good true mix of it. So until I started hanging out with guys like Dax and seeing guys in our industry when I moved to Lubbock and stuff like that, I just kind of sat back and watched and like, okay, you know, it is okay. It is okay. You can do this, you know. I mean, if you take a chance and if you see an opportunity and literally just take it.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like it just, you'll be busy.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like you have to be somewhat a little bit wired different, because there's a lot of people that don't take opportunities. And if you step back and look, you know, those people could have had a better future, you know. And like I said, I was raised, don't take a chance. You know, my parents never took a chance or never pushed reaching out on a limb, but I feel like that's what it takes to really make a difference. Like you gotta reach for the stars, and if you're not reaching, you're not getting anywhere. And
my mindset was just like, I don't know, like I just more of a gambler. Like I don't care about risk, and like when I got started out, I'm like, man, you know, I'm already broke. I'm already, you know,
nothing to lose.
Yeah, you don't have much to lose. You can go into a little bit more debt, and you're still gonna be broke. And then I could always, the last resort is you could always go to town and get some kind of job, or go, in my case, go get a ranch job or something, and then just slowly pay back the debt, But hell, while we're doing it, like let's go ahead and just take the chance. And then if it does work, you have tremendous upside. If it doesn't work, you're already just going to be doing the same thing as everybody else anyway.
Yeah.
So that was always my thinking. And like I said, I'm not scared of risk. I mean, I quit all the jobs and income that I had whenever I had a baby about to be born. So that's not very smart to do.
You like to roll the dice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I could, like, if you get in some type of sales with the commission, then I'm like, man, I could make one sale a month or something and make the same as me working all the time. So think about it, like if I got good at it and I made 2 sales or 3 sales or something like that.
Exactly. That's just, and it's like the spiral effect. You get started, once you do that, get that first taste of blood, it's just go after that. It seems like,
That's what I tell people when they want to come on and do the credit card processing or something, or reach out to me about doing something. I'm like, the number one thing is getting you paid fast so that you see the opportunity, because a lot of people will get in, or sign up or do some training or talk about the opportunity. But if you never get that check, then it doesn't seem real. You don't feel like you're committed. You don't see the upside of it. It seems like I listen to a lot of stuff on social media about people that have built social media stuff and podcasts and stuff like that. And they're like, man, the first time I got monetized on YouTube and made my first $10 or whatever, because you don't make crap on that. Like, that's a big deal to get monetized, but like you might make $100 a month or something.
Yeah.
But most people are like, that just fuels it. Once you get that first taste, like you said, you get that first taste of success of something on your own, or something that you've done, something that you've built. You're like, man, I want to do this forever. I just want to keep doing it.
It's just like the music industry. Spotify, I think for every spin is like 0.00835 cents or something like that. And I mean, once you learn that, you start going to like stock your favorite singer. Like, hey, how many listens does like something to talk about like Coetzel have? And you go look and you multiply it and you're like, oh, he's made pretty good money off of that song.
That's a lot of spins.
He made probably 150 spins off of me driving home from Blue Light.
Yeah.
Just around it.
Yeah, I mean, that's just like I said a while ago, just like if you start breaking down that, I think you like can teach yourself that mindset maybe of just like looking at the backside of stuff. Most people just go in and give people their money and never think about it. But like, you're like, you can ballpark what somebody's making a lot of times by just like, he charged me this much and I know this much about metal or whatever. And then they can reverse engineer and like, maybe I want to go start my own company and compete with them. Most of the time, no, it's not. It's probably not a good idea, or most people aren't going to do it anyway. But you can kind of figure that out, just like you said.
There it goes. There you said it. That's what DeAx did. I mean, we saw these products here, and we're like, no wonder, no wonder there's no room for margin. And so we started sourcing it out in Mexico, obviously where everything of ours is built. And we started off with like 11 shops, and we're just filling loads, making sure they're sold when they're getting here and stuff like that, decaling them, inspecting them and stuff like that. But what I was getting at is we saw an opportunity. I mean, the main reason our products are going to be cheaper is labor. The labor costs down there are a lot cheaper than here. I mean, and here's the other thing I tell people. People will show up to work over there.
Yeah.
And if you don't, you're fired. There's going to be someone else begging for your job because they want the comfort of having a job down there. If you work for a manufacturer and you're a good welder or even a good painter or good at wiring trailers, whatever the case may be, you have a good job, and that's what they want down there. I mean, because the way their government's set up and stuff like that, I mean, you can't really go out on your own unless, you're doing something else, and stuff like that. So, I mean, it works for us. I mean, that's how we're able. It's not that the steel's just that much cheaper. It's not, we're trying. We get all American parts that we put on our stuff, from the lights to the wire, the bearings, the axles. As much American as possible because that's the quality stuff. We're just assembling it down there, putting it together, and for a way better price.
Yeah.
Bringing it over here and standing by it. If you have a problem, bring it back to us. We'll fix it. We'll get you swapped out, whatever we need to do.
Yeah,
go from there. I mean,
that's what I like about y'all's stuff is it's not, even though it's not made here, y'all bring it up here and stand behind it, and it's already good quality. Everything that I've seen has been good quality. But if something does break, y'all are going to stand behind it, and
the guy can't knock us for it not being made here. I mean, take a look at what we're wearing today. I mean, where's it all made at most of the time? I mean, we're over here and we're just blinded by it. Like, I mean, I sat at lunch with some guys the other day in Lubbock, and they're cotton farmers and bankers. And I'm sitting there, I sell them the chemical and all that stuff, and they're griping about the price of cotton. Well, I stepped back and I looked around. I'm the only one wearing any cotton there. The banker's not wearing cotton. The farmer's not wearing cotton. There's our problem. You're worried about these prices and stuff like that. There's your problem. And then you have guys that come at us like, oh, it's not American made, which we hardly run into that at all. I mean, the guys like our product for DeAx, the DeAx name on it, and we're not going to put our name on a product that's not like that. But it might as well be, because we're the closest. We're sourcing it as closer than China, right? I mean,
it's almost comical because you get to talking to people about trailers, and they'll say, well, I'm not buying a Mexican product or all this and that, but it's almost comical because 99% of trailers you see running up down the road, where are they made? They're assembled in the U.S. They're not made in the U.S.
I mean, I don't want to go ahead and just spill the beans on all the trailer companies, but we could talk about this all day long. I mean, they come across the river down there in what they call skeletons, and then they just paint them, put lights, and slap axles on here. They even have the wood. It's just business. Levi's was in El Paso. Tony Lama boots, they were in El Paso. Where'd they move to after? I mean, when Bush was president, they moved south of the border. They just sourced cheaper labor, same product. I mean, it's just one of those deals.
Yeah, everybody can be a keyboard warrior, on social media and talk crap, but they're probably not living it, down to your core.
Yeah.
And it's a great concept to have, is like everything's made right, besides America, but like locally, but it's nobody's willing to pay it.
Yeah.
Nobody's willing. If that was the case, there'd be no market for y'all. It would all be Hughes and Easley. Everybody be driving to their shops right there where you can watch them build the whole thing. And they're going to pay $30,000-$40,000 for a stock trailer, so you can go day work for a couple $100 a day and be paying on it your whole life.
It's almost the opposite. It's almost like the U.S. made trailers. It's like almost like parts are coming from China and Mexico. And it's like the trailers we're bringing in from Mexico is like U.S. parts. It's like it's kind of the opposite.
Yeah, everybody's kind of saving somewhere.
Yeah, it's.
I mean, we could put Chinese lights on them for a third of, not even 25% of the price. Chinese bearings, latches, slam shut latches, grease zerts. I mean, you name it. Lights, interior lights. There's so many different parts that we've learned in this whole process. But I mean, we don't. Literally, steel and the paint is from Mexico.
Yeah,
and the labor. That's good enough to stimulate their economy. We're making money selling it to them, and then we're buying it back from them. That's trading. Trading.
I mean, I liked what y'all talked about before the show too. Is like y'all are completely open-minded. Like y'all are just starting out, and you're like, hey, you tell your customers, hey, give us some feedback. If there's something you don't like we'll get it fixed, and we'll work on changing it. And you're not going to have that with the big company.
Yeah. I mean, we're trying to find our hole in the market. If you think the latch needs to be moved 3 inches up, by golly, I'm going to call everybody that bought that and let's say, hey, do you agree? And if we'll take the comment, we'll move it up. I mean, if you special order it, we'll build it with that last 3 inches up. I mean, people got to understand there's a wait time too on stuff like that. So it's,
and I think
it's crazy.
As far as like y'all's place in the market, I can't remember who said it, but it was somebody famous a long time ago said, there's no spot to be second highest priced.
Yep.
There's no spot to be second lowest price. You either want to be the highest and sell to the rich people and the upper class or whatever, and your very top, your Ferrari, your Bugatti, your somebody at Rolls Royce, or you can be a Kia, and they have a bigger market with smaller margins, and it's not their deal, is they're going to sell a whole lot more of them, like a Walmart or something. So y'all are serving the purpose. Not everybody can afford that higher price stuff, name brand stuff that's been out there, but y'all offer a very quality product at a very affordable price. Yeah.
It's almost like you have to meet in the middle. I mean, you got your rich and you got your middle class and stuff like that. And what is there more of? I mean, we're trying to build the best product we can for everyone to be able to afford,
Yeah. And I mean, y'all have insight because that's, like I said, like we've talked about, y'all started in the industry and see holes and stuff that y'all use, like, hey, I can improve on this, or I can sell it cheaper, make it cheaper, whatever. So y'all are very involved in it instead of being detached. Hudson Livestock Supplements is owned and ran by a ranching family that uses and tests their products on their own operation. By doing this, they're able to provide the highest quality product available and can direct you as to which one you might need for your specific operation. These tubs can help with breed back, weaning a larger calf, fly control, and helping the animals get all the nutrients and minerals they need. They can provide a solution for cattle, sheep, goats, horses, and wildlife in all different terrains and different scenarios. Check out hudsonlivestock.com for a full list of products and to find a dealer near you. And they are now processing payments with us at Diversified Payments.
All this stuff, we use it. I mean, my whole place is built off of it. DeAx building a place right now, it's built off of it. I mean, we've got some things in stove for his place, or in place now, that, we're going to use to build all of our stuff, to build it and stuff like that. I mean, if we think it's a good idea, you're going to see it come into what we call our DeAx shelf.
Yeah.
Or onto our price catalog now that has grown a lot.
Well,
That's
I think
crazy.
Those are the best companies, best products out there that I've found is finding a founder that's tied to it, and knows what works and stuff. If you're very disconnected, you're not going to know. You don't have boots on the ground. You're not going to know if it's working or not. You're just going to put a product out there and not know if it's breaking or not. And to go back, I've been listening to, everybody needs to check this podcast out. It's called Founders. And it's just book summaries of historical figures, of biographies. He reads biographies and autobiographies and then kind of summarizes them. Whereas I've been kind of going through people I like and know, and then I'll listen to some random ones. This one guy, he was a banana guy. Anyways, these banana companies, they all started out like boots on the ground, with founders, and then eventually sold out to New York or something. So these companies are being ran. The bananas are coming from Central America, and the companies are being ran by suits up in New York or whatever. So they have no clue about anything about bananas. They just look at numbers. This guy is living in Central America. He's from Georgia or somewhere. He's living in Central America, and he's like, y'all are never going to beat me because I am involved. I'm submerged in the business. I live and eat and breathe. I know for everything from front to back, and I know the growers and the producers and the shippers and everything. He said, you're never going to beat me.
No.
And just like that, you're going to get, y'all are in it. So
we live in it. I mean, that's what, and we always joke, like, everybody's like, why would you want to move to Lubbock? Like, or what keeps you in Lubbock? And I'm just like, exactly what you just said. I mean, no one else wants to move out to West Texas and survive these droughts. I mean, that's part of the reason why we started this business. I mean, we were in a drought. We knew where to find the hay. We knew how to move the hay. And with that being said, when you're in drought years in our area and stuff like that, I mean, guys are searching to save their bottom line, whether you're farming or ranching and stuff like that. So why not? If you need a squeeze chute and you're tired of working that manual one and you need to switch over to us hydraulic, we've got a good, affordable hydraulic squeeze chute that you can dang sure get the job done for, we'll guarantee it for a year, but I mean, it'll last longer than that. I mean, we have people that would definitely stand behind it and say that.
But not many companies are going to back that. I mean, if you buy something from Tractor Supply and it breaks and you take it to Tractor Supply, they're not going to be like, oh, let me fix it. No.
But half the time we'll go pick it up. I mean, we'll send our driver to pick it up and load it up, take it to our shop. I mean, it's fixed, ready to go, and call us if you have any more problems, you know.
Yeah. I want to get into your products, but I've skipped over.
You're good.
And
we just get to talking.
Yeah. I skipped over. I wanted y'all to talk about coming up with DeAx because I knew y'all, or I knew y'all's names, and I knew DeAx, and I saw this the whole time, and I never realized what it was until y'all told me when we met a while back. But
that's funny.
Talk about y'all sitting down and coming up with that, like when the company was starting.
Well, there was no setting down involved.
No.
When we kind of started, and we probably should backtrack a little bit because the actual first purchase was actually not those trailers.
It was.
It was actually something else. We started this on $3,500
a piece,
and together.
Sorry, yeah,
$3,500. We started all this, but anyway, that's a different story. So we kind of started and got it going. Well, Dean, I'll never forget. I was at home, like I told you, pretty slow work, and Dean texted me this picture of this logo, and it's a trailer, and it looked horrible, but it said DeAx on it, and I'm like, man, we can't do that. Like that just sounds horrible, you know. And he's like, well, it's Dean and Dax, you know. And so
DE-AX.
Yeah, DE-AX, Dean and Dax. So I kind of pondered on it, and it kind of stuck a little bit. The more I looked at it, the better it stuck.
It looked good on the tongue of a trailer.
Yeah, it looks decent. It looked decent. So just over time, it kind of stuck, and everybody's like, you know, that's kind of cool. And it's real cheesy, but it worked. And now we're trying to build a brand off of it. And, so yeah, that's the story on.
Yeah. It's funny because like he says that I drew it on a piece of paper, right? Like I was driving, I was checking cotton, doing my job, you know, I mean, I was just driving north of Brownfield, and, I remember I was at a light, and I kind of whipped together the outline of a trailer, and then in the tongue I drew D. We just kind of, like you said, we backtracking. We bought roping dummies, roping sleds, plastic, just like a generic Smartie or something like that. And we went down there and picked up, what was it, like 7 of them. We invested $3,500 together. And
$3,500. We were just shaking.
I had my wife, girlfriend at the time, loaded up. I mean, had her out there loading them and the whole nine. And we're on the way back from El Paso. My 4-star trailer just loaded with 7.
We thought we were setting sail.
Calling everybody like, we're hauling stock, you know, and all this stuff that don't eat, and like posting on Snapchat like, hey, you need a dummy, call us. We had them for sale, and we're pretty competitive. I think going back even further, the thing we had in common the most is I played sports, we rope, and all that stuff. We rope together, and we're real competitive together. And I think that's what kind of our positive energy comes from. And anyway, long story short, we had them sold by the time we got back to Lubbock, all except one. When I was like, well, we could pull it around and use it for ourselves, you know? That was the idea. Well, anyway, a couple of days later, everybody kind of started asking what we were doing and stuff like that. And then a buddy of mine, JD, came. We just got done roping. We were getting ready to go to Arizona to rope for 2 weeks or something before Vegas and stuff like that. And he comes over and he's like, I want to help sell some of that stuff with you. I was unsaddling, he was unsaddling, and we're like,
that was a big decision then.
Yeah, you know, we got our thing going on right here, you know. And JD's a good buddy of mine, and he's like, yeah, I want to help. I mean, he was serious as a heart attack. Like, I want in. Okay. So we let him start helping us sell, and he sold that other dummy. And we're like,
we thought we were the real deal now.
We had money in our bank account, and we're like,
yeah, we made $500, and we were ready to get after it.
Yeah, spend a day driving. But my parents lived down there. So anyway, I told Dax, I said, you know, if we're going to start this, we were already selling hay and had all the, like, money coming in, and we were paying our farmers in cash. And I'm like, dude, we've got to do this the right way. Like, I think we're already like rolling, doing enough business, I guess, you know, steady cash flow. This ain't going to work the way we're doing it. I think we need to go like sit down and create an LLC. And then we're like, well, we got to come up with a name, you know? So I called everybody and was going to do it online. And I was like, dude, I don't know what I'm doing, man. And he's like, neither do I. Let's just hire a lawyer. We did that. And I mean, we were sweating going over there talking to the lawyer to write a check to pay her to do this. we didn't have no money to do nothing.
Literally
We're just
working to get money to pay the lawyer to build the LLC.
literally. Seriously, we're like, we sold enough dummies we could pay. I think it was $1,400 to get her to do all the paperwork and come up with an LLC. And then we're like, we got to get an accountant. Like we were trying to do things right. Like, cause I told Dax and he agreed with me. Like, we're not doing this under the table type stuff. I want this to be something to be proud of eventually. Let's do it right. And he's like, yeah, let's do it. So we did it and went on from there. And that's how that happened. And so, like I said, I was driving. I put that on the tongue of a trailer and I called him. And that was literally the first name and it stuck.
It stuck.
And it wasn't supposed to. It was, like you said, cheesy. So
we always laugh because I always say it was Dean's idea, but Dean always says it's my idea. So we're not real sure whose idea it was to start all this, but here we are.
yeah. I mean, it's just a flame that became a fire, I guess. I don't know. It's been fun. Most importantly, we enjoy doing it.
Yeah.
It's been interesting every day.
Talk about kind of your evolution of products. So it was the rope and dummies first, and then hay trailers, and like I said, now y'all have anything that anybody involved in the industry could ever need.
The round bell feeder was pretty big deal for us. That was probably the third product that hit hard
up there pretty close.
and we didn't even know what it was when they just like, hey, we build this. I'm like,
that's how a lot of
what is that?
How a lot of that stuff kind of started. Like, hey, we also build this, or so we'd be like, yeah,
came
send
from
us
the
that.
factory.
Yeah, the stuff they were already building that was pretty decent ideas that we'd never seen.
And then we just took that and twisted it a little bit.
Yeah, we of course had to figure out what, they're not down in our manufacturers. They're not near as innovative as we are on some of this livestock stuff, especially keeping in mind what you've been talking about with all the guys you've had in the past, this performance horse, as expensive as horses are. So we get this product that might be a little bit rough around the edges that works good for cattle or Corrientes in the mountains in Mexico, but not for $100,000 show horse or something. So the concept was there. Now we got to shape it up. That was what we kind of started with. And then once we shaped it up, we were able to put our name on it. And then after that, it's just been ideas. I mean, just little ideas, finding, like we talked about, those holes in the market and making work easier with some of our products and stuff like that. And so, I mean, you name it. With the end goal being in DeAx, the name of the company being DeAx Trailers this whole time. It's taken up to this point today to be able to say that we're manufacturing our own trailers, like besides the hay trailer, like where our dream was stock trailers and stock combos and stuff. It's taken up until what? February?
Yeah.
To roll out our first one.
Just now getting trailers.
And just now kind of
trading everything else before.
Yeah. Just now getting our DeAx Trailers, which was our name to begin with, going. I mean, and now we're finally getting almost a finished product, something that we're real proud of on our stock trailer market and stuff. But in the meantime, we're just like, well, we might as well just add this. We might as well add this. I mean, we're here. We have the storefront already. We need to keep cash flow. For any small business, the key is cash flow and being profitable. I mean, if we're going to be sitting there all day long trying to sell a trailer, we might as well try to sell hay because that's what we did anyway. We might as well try to sell the feeder. I mean, we strategically kind of just placed our items around our market.
Slowly turned into a store. I mean, just over time, it just more and more products. It just turned into a one-stop shop.
Yeah, exactly. And we don't have that in West Texas. We have feed stores. We have all that stuff, and we're not trying to compete against the feed stores with feed and stuff like that. We just want to sell good equipment. I mean, keep guys coming in the door, offer good hay. It works out good for us with moving our bulk loads of hay and our brokering side of the hay business and stuff like that. I mean, you may have 10 bales left after that, after you shipped out all the truckloads. Bring those to the yard. We'll sell them one by one. I mean, it's trying to be able to place yourself in front of it just the whole time and making sure that you're there for it when that opportunity comes up.
Yeah.
And it's almost a special kind of a niche because a lot of the stuff that we're selling, you can't just get that anywhere. I mean, like certain feeders and certain stuff. I mean, I'm sure you can get something similar way off, but you can't get all that at a one-stop shop.
Yeah. And a lot
Yeah,
of
it's
times-
very custom. Like you could probably get a welder to build you something or something like that, but not at y'all's price, and even probably with shipping, it's probably cheaper to get.
Yeah.
If you don't live close to Lubbock, still get it shipped to you instead of getting somebody to fabricate it at a local shop or something.
Oh man, going back to the shipping deal now, that's one thing if you haven't learned in business, like shipping is everything. Like the whole world moves on a truck. I mean, I'm serious. And you don't realize that until you get into our business, like shipping cattle, shipping hay, I mean, commodities, anything like that. It's crazy. I mean, we have learned a lot about shipping.
Everything you use, see, do, all comes on a truck usually.
And we've got a really good guy.
And you got to be competitive at it.
We've got good truck drivers. That we do everything contracted now on our shipping, but we got connections that pretty much drive full time for us too. I mean, a truck driver, the truck's delivering our products in from across the border, but the truck's here. I mean, we got one guy that just hot shots full time for us. We call him Redneck, but he, I mean, our customers know him. I mean, we do. He helps our business a lot. I mean, and we're not in the business. We contract them, but he might as well be full time for us and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But we got a funny story if we have time real quick. But Dax and I, we were delivering hay. Just thought he was delivering out of my Ford 7.3
No
liter,
AC, hot.
no AC, 5-speed, 2-wheel drive. Because that's what my dad had to have. I'm like, dude, we've gotten stuck so much. I don't know why we didn't get a 4-wheel drive. Got that going, and then we're like, man, we're moving enough hay now. We need to get a bigger truck. So I get on Facebook. I'm the type of guy. Dax is always like trying to pull me back, and I'm the type of guy like if we need it, we're gonna go buy it. Like I'm not gonna. I grew up in that contained environment of not being able to just go get it. So we're gonna go if we can. We're gonna figure out a way to go get it. Well, I found one of those Chevy, a 2004 Kodiak.
Kodiak, yeah.
And it was in Northeast Ohio. And I told the lady on Facebook, I showed it to Dax. She's like, yeah, dude, it had stacks, like 90,000 miles on it, tuned up, a sound
clean
system.
as a whistle.
Clean as a whistle.
And even cooler, the lady that owned it dealt a lot with Tiger King. She was a big tiger girl.
Yeah.
So this truck was to pull tigers. So we're like, we got to have that truck. It's got a story behind it. It's hauled Tiger King's tigers.
Yes,
Like, nobody else is going to have this opportunity to get in this thing.
Can't remember her name. But anyway, we got up there, and she'd said she'd owned Tiger Deal. Well, like up until like 3 days before, I'd already spoke for it. I'm like, we want it. Like I sent her down payment. She was a real official lady. Like she was real nervous about doing business with us, being from Texas and all this stuff. Anyway, we looked at airplane tickets, found some cheap ones, never went around to buy them, just kind of timid, tippy-toeing around it. And the Spicer grip was going on, and we knew we had a rope there that weekend. And finally, she's like, you need to come get this truck. I'm like, okay, well, we're going. So it was like a Wednesday. I booked some tickets. They were like $900 for a one-way to, where was it?
Cleveland,
Ohio. We left. We flew to Denver. Had like a 3-hour. Worst tickets you can get.
We had a 3-hour layover and barely made the next gate. Trying to get Dean around the Denver airport's like herding cats. I'm telling you,
I'm not good with all that.
Getting Dean anywhere is just pretty tough. So, much less in Denver.
We land in Cleveland, Ohio. If we call the lady like, "Hey, we're gonna land in Cleveland," she's like, "Oh my God, that's still like 4 hours." I'm like, well, we couldn't get one, like a plane to fly us into your deadline closer to you. Like, we're going to have to find, so we're going to have to hire an Uber. Like, 10 o'clock at night, flying into Cleveland, we hired an Uber. We hadn't ate all day. We were broke. Just peanuts from the airplane. And we told that Uber driver, hey, can you whip it in somewhere to eat? He whips into Wendy's, and he's listening to the Cleveland Browns play.
And he's excited
about it.
Yeah. And now Wendy's on top of this. This guy's, and we offered to buy his dinner, and he's just excited.
Yeah, we bought it because he was driving us 4 hours at 10 p.m. when we landed.
I hope this is a good truck.
Yeah, so we get we get to our hotel, and then like at 4 hours from 10, so like at what
I don't even know.
Yeah.
It was late.
Yeah, late. Anyway, she's like, I'm going to pick you guys up there at 6. So we pull into
She's
this
scared to death.
hotel. They're
do
having the NFL Hall of Fame in that town. So the hotels are higher than can be, like convention or something like that. Oh my God, Lee, we get this crappy hotel for like $300. I mean, we ended up spending way too much money. We're eating into our diesel money to get home. We get there, that lady picks us up, she takes us, and we kind of knew about the tiger deal, but we didn't know about the tiger deal. Like, dude, tigers and lions everywhere, like cougars, like freaking. So we crank the truck up, look around it, let it warm up, or whatever, just get it going, floor on it. We're like, yeah, we're ready to drive this sucker back to Texas. 26 hours. Like, we didn't realize that either. Really.
3 or 4 times, so we drove it straight back.
Yeah.
How was that looking back as a business decision?
Horrible. I'll answer that one real quick. It was horrible.
Dax can't see at night, so he drives the day shift, and I'm of course on my phone trying to pedal stuff on the way back. This free time, in the back seat, and he's just dumping it, and those amps are underneath there. And we get to Missouri or something. It started getting like real dark.
Joplin, Missouri, or Joplin.
We went through every NFL football game on the way home too. Speaking of, like, cluster in this truck and no weight on the back. This sucker's rougher than can be. We're regretting it the minute we turned on our FM road, just bouncing through that air ride seats on that dang Kodiak. Golly, 5-speed. We didn't know that either. So we're at 3,500 miles, 3,500 RPMs, straight piped, going 80. And I mean, this thing is screaming, dude. I'm like, this is
about 3 miles a gallon.
Yeah. We get to put diesel in it. It's got the flatbed. So you go, it just comes gushing out, the fuel. Like,
takes you an hour to fill it up.
You had to like creep it and turn it. If you guys have a flatbed, like creep it and kind of hold it there like that and just hope that it doesn't click, Did that. We hated filling up. And, oh, man, we got back. We drove into first stop. After that, get to Crosbyton coming in. And sun just come up, and we had to be at the Spicer Grit by like 2 in Hereford. Still had to stop by my house, pick up the horses and stuff. But we're excited because we got a big rig. Get lit up. I'm speeding through Crosbyton. I'm like, golly, dude, I'm barely making it. Do that, and then what else happened? I mean, we get back. What else
we
happened?
just went straight up there, just tired, man. We just drove that thing all the way
26
back.
hours, beaten.
How much did y'all win that day?
I was roping with Sean Gray, and Dax wasn't roping. I was roping with him, and we didn't win nothing. But
yeah,
I got my finger caught, and we were fixing to be pretty dang good. But
anyway, long story short, I wrecked the truck.
Yeah, on Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving,
we're hauling hay. That sucker, if you're not loaded on a Kodiak, they get real squirrely. Like the road could just be hot. The road could be hot and slick, and they get squirrely. And I'm talking squirrely. I almost lost it in front of the Spade Ranch because of it. Just pulling an aluminum horse trailer with one horse, it wasn't enough weight. Dax, we had a load of hay to take to Lake Allen Henry, and that guy's like, I can take it today. It was Thanksgiving. Dax is like, I'll take it and go see my family for Thanksgiving in Snyder. Said, okay. We get him loaded. It was cold. He's coming back, and
it was sleeting.
Yeah, he calls.
And I came around a big curve there in Southland, and I lost the tail end of it, and started going and tried to correct it, and then overcorrected back, and it jackknifed the trailer into me, so it caved in on top of me, and I'm going in reverse at 70 miles an hour, which was too fast in the sleet. Yeah, I get
with
it.
With a 40-foot.
With a 40-foot trailer, and I think it was a blessing to have that 40-foot trailer caved into me, because if not, it would have flipped and probably wouldn't be here today. But
which was a DeAx 40-foot trailer.
Yeah, so the DeAx, and not a scratch on it. Not a scratch on that trailer. But anyway, yeah, it bent the seat. That's how much force I had on it. It bent the seat forward and to the right, because that's the way I was going. And after the wreck, if you looked in that seat, it was bent forward and bent. There was a lot of force happening in that seat.
Oh, and the lady gave us a tiger, a stuffed animal tiger. And we had it strapped in the middle back
seat.
Did.
And she said it was our guardian angel.
Yep.
And which I'm glad I had him, because I might not be here today. So I don't know if he was good luck because I'm not dead, or if he was bad luck because I wrecked. But anyway, I'm still here today.
Yeah.
So
several's happened with the freight since then. We've ended up selling that truck, getting out of it. We lost a little bit of money. I hated it, but old cream puff needed to go.
Yeah. Sorry, we kind of got off topic there.
No, that was a good one.
It's kind of funny. That's one of our funny.
That's one
many
of our
stories.
most expensive things so far that we've lost.
Well, yeah.
Second.
Second.
What are y'all's goals for DeAx in the future?
Man, there's a lot to it. I mean, we have some big goals set for DeAx. I mean, as far as maybe expanding later on, like in a seasonal area later on down the road, like Arizona in the wintertime and stuff like that. That's later on down the road. But short term, we really want to get a bigger facility, big barn to store more hay in, and our tubs, and just more inventory, keep more inventory in right now. I mean,
really focus on the products, like getting it down to perfection as much as we can to still keep it affordable.
Yep.
But as far as the company, I would say grow it, like Dean said, possibly have another place there in Wickenburg or something like that, somewhere in Arizona, and try to do that. I mean, we have dealers and stuff, but
Yeah.
open up another big one, I would say.
grow. I mean, yeah, we just keep growing. And like I told you when we were talking outside a little bit ago, like the biggest thing that I was scared about coming onto this show and stuff is watching all the guys you've had in the past. Like they're a lot older than us. They've kind of got to those goals, and they're able to talk about their past up in business and stuff like that, and to where they got to and stuff. And I mean, we do have some cool stories and stuff like that. But I mean, one thing I just wanted to know, like our customers to know, we're not done yet. Like we have a lot of room for improvement on our products. By far, we have a lot of room for new ideas. We have a lot of new ideas in place. I mean, we're constantly innovating. I mean,
Takes time. Rome wasn't built overnight.
coming up with technology to measure water troughs. I mean, we're working on things like that. I mean, we're not only trailers, like you said at the beginning of the podcast. I mean, that's been our goal, and that's still our goal. Like trailers, that's our passion. I feel like we love trailers, like, and anything that rolls that you can pull behind a truck and stuff like that. But we're innovating because we want to be able to stay consistent in the future. We want to be able to continue to be that one-stop affordable shop for guys in our industry that are trying to find that bottom line.
Yeah.
And maintain that bottom line and stuff like that. And that's a big deal with today's farm and ranch market. I mean, you got to protect it. I mean, especially after what we're fixing to go through, and sustainability being a big buzzword. I mean, what does sustainable mean? Like, to me, it's not about growing a sustainable beef, growing sustainable crops. It's being sustainable to the family farm or ranch is sustaining your own operation anymore.
Yeah.
That's how you stay on top, surviving. If you can figure out how to sustain, which me and Dax talked about on the way over here, that might not even be trading money anymore. That might be trading product, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Keeping products on your property that keep you sustainable, things like that. So,
And to go back, like what you were saying, like y'all are still young and kind of new in the journey. What advice would you give to somebody that's not happy with where they're at with their job, or they're coming out of school or whatever, like wanting to do something? Like, what advice would you give to somebody that may want to get started in entrepreneurship?
I'll let Dax go first on that one.
And I think if you just have every day, I think we have a choice every day. When you open your eyes, you can be great or you can't. I mean, I feel like it's a mindset deal mentally. If you want to do something and chase that dream, go get it. And as far as the business side of things, I would say count your pennies. I'm a big penny counter. I feel like counting your pennies will help you get further in life on anything. And I've got the guy I look up to the most, my hero, is a guy named Bo Robinson. And he's 2B Farms, and he didn't come from much. Now he's huge. And when I helped him for so many years, he just always told me, like, take a chance, go get it. You got to take a risk. You got to pay to play. You got to go. And seeing him do that has taught me, take a chance, man. If you see it, go. When you see that hole, fill it. go get it.
Go claim it.
That's my kind of my, and as far as the other is just, I would say count your pennies. Your pennies will go a lot further than your dollar bills ever will.
You know, man, like as far as that goes, I think if you're wanting to do your own thing, I say go for it. Of course, right off the bat, stay faithful to it, keep grinding. Don't pick your head up. Like if that's what you want to do and you know you want to do it and you're passionate enough about it, you're gonna find a way to make it work. I mean, if you keep picking your head up consistently and looking back and patting yourself on the back, you're wasting time at that point. You just got to keep your head down in the trench, keep working. I mean, that's what we tell the guys that work with us. We have a really good bunch of people that work with us, and I think that's what's made us more successful than anything. That's a different deal, but just keeping it going. I mean, meeting people, never closing doors. You know, I mean, of course you get into it with some guys and, you know, and you create enemies, but I mean, I've always been the type of guy, and Dax can tell you, like, it crushes me whenever I hear somebody like talk negative of us or negative of our product or negative me or something like that, because that's just a door we shut. So I think that's what's mainly helped me kind of get going the most on going out on a limb from out of my comfort zone is just, there's so many doors that I've kept open and good relationships with people and surrounding myself with those people that are successful and that have a goal in mind and that I've watched grow and stuff like that. And I think that if I could give one piece of advice for like a young entrepreneur is just keep going. Like, don't lose faith. Don't look up. Surround yourself with people that are going to be successful and listen to your customers. There is a point where the customer is always right, but I mean, you still got to stand behind your product and listen and keep going forward. I mean, don't pick up, because that's what I felt like we've done with DeAx. I mean, we stuck our head down and worked. I mean,
the minute you pick your head up, you know,
we're still doing
it's a
it.
very humbling deal. Yes,
yeah,
sir.
you look up, you start getting nervous. You start thinking like, man, I got this coming up, that coming up. I mean, but if you keep your head down, like we talked about earlier, like it's hard for me to keep up with anything going out because my dang stream on my Facebook and Instagram and everything is just trailers and hay and agriculture and the whole night, which I don't mind it, but it's so hard for me to see outside that bubble now because I'm just so focused right now on a goal. Like I'm focused and I'm so hungry for it. And I think that's going back to our guys. Like, I mean, our guys like Case and Cash and JD and Bone, Colton, all the guys we placed to help us achieve our goals and stuff like that, they're the same. They're driven. And that's why
environment's huge.
We not only surrounded ourselves with them, we gave them an incentive along with us, you know, like, hey, you want to work for us? They're our sales team. I mean,
I feel like,
that's big.
I regret, I would say that some of my regrets in life is not taking more chances. I feel like if the opportunity is at your fingertips, take it. And I regret that in life, not taking some of the chances I had, because I feel like I could be even further.
Because if you end up losing from it, are you really losing or are you learning? Yeah, it may hurt. It stings. But just like a bee sting, it stings, but it's going to go away and you're going to be able to bounce back and you're going to get to continue to do what you want to do. If that didn't hurt you, or if that didn't bring you, not hurt, if that didn't bring you to your knees and just scare you away from it, just keep on going, keep on buzzing around.
And real quick, we're running out of time, but what would you say is the most important skill that you could learn, or that y'all have learned, or maybe that you're working on that you realize you need to learn more about?
I think the older I get, skill-wise, especially on the salesman end of it, is, I would say, close your mouth, open your ears. I've kind of set back a little bit the older I get and really watch people, and I feel like people skills is is that kind of what you were asking there? That's kind of people
communication
skills.
People skills.
And I'm shocked I've talked this much, because I usually kind of set back, but
we can go on and on.
We can go on.
What about you, Dean?
Man, I think some people are natural born salesmen and stuff like that and have God-given talents and stuff like that. And if you do, the hardest part about it is maintaining that. Like, maintaining people skills for me has been the hardest thing. if anybody knows me, I'm on the phone all day long. I'm texting, I'm making deals. I'm trying to make sure everybody's happy, trying to make sure everything's going. And what I struggle from is like when I go to the next task, it's usually a missed phone call. You know, don't matter how the last one left, I got to be happy on the next one and maintain that good relationship, that staying happy. Because I mean, those are the guys that keep us in business, and I want our customers to feel special for dealing with us, and I feel like that's kind of what I have to go through and learn.
It's all relationships.
Yeah, and making sure we're getting back to people and all that stuff. I mean, it's you know how it is running a small business. You've got a lot of roles. A lot of roles. So
I preach a lot about just going, you know, for a while, you know, for like now for us to go rope, it's beneficial for us to go rope because we're selling and mingling, you know.
We're in our market.
Yeah, you're in your people and you're talking and you're it's just a social deal, you know. I feel like that goes a long ways.
Yeah, relationships are huge in anything you're going to do in life. We've been feeding Danco Forage Omnis Plus to a few of our horses for a little over a month, and we've noticed a huge difference. They've really started shining and lost their belly and really seem to gain more muscle. Dan is a listener of the show, and he contacted me about doing some advertising for him. I told him I wanted to try the product first. And it turned out we have a mutual friend that also feeds and sells it. So after trying it for a little over a month, I'm going to say I'm a believer. And y'all should probably look into it. They offer several different products, but the Omnis Plus really gets one looking good. Check out Danco Forage on Facebook to find a dealer near you or become a dealer yourself. And I'll continue to keep you updated on the results that I'm seeing with our horses. And Danco Forage is now processing payments with us at Diversified Payments.
And maintain those relationships. I was somewhere yesterday. And that was what he was talking about. He's like, he runs a small business too there at Lubbock and Flint Boot and Hat. And we were talking about that. I mean, he's like, man, he goes, I'm in the back. You know, you guys come in. I need to attend to you guys, and I'm the face here, and I'm having to maintain that relationship with you. And that's me. I mean, we were talking about like people coming in and trying to sell you advertisement all the time and stuff like that. We'll be sitting there in the middle of something in our office working hard, and you get them that come in there. And you got to act happy with them. You don't know what that door can lead you into, but you're like, man, like, I'm a salesman too, you know, like I'm trying to make something go and you're trying to sell us this. And so we got to sit there, and usually it takes 30 minutes to an hour. Well, that puts you behind, and you can get in a bad mood real quick. And then you have a customer walk in right in the middle of it, and you look frustrated, and you got to like make sure that you're on top of it and set them aside and deal with your customer and stuff like that. So it's a tough deal.
Yeah. Well, y'all, I hope y'all got some value out of that, and check out, like, y'all need to go check out DeAx products. You can check out DeAx on Facebook. DeAx Trailer sells y'all's website. Dean and Dax on Facebook. You can reach out to them personally, and like I said, you're going to get very quality products at a low price and the best service, best warranty. They stand behind it, and like they said, they can customize it for you if there's something there that doesn't work or whatever. It's a small company. You just met the two guys, the two faces of it. So y'all go check them out, and we'll see y'all next time.